Hello there, my name is Ismas and welcome to another Blender tutorial, and today we're going to be looking at how I made this dripping paint effect in Blender 2.8. So this is another daily tip, quick tip. Let me turn off some of these effects so that OBS is not too laggy. Yes, so we're going to be making this. I'm going to be showing you how to make this dripping paint effect. So this was a time-lapse video that I made previously, and I've uploaded that to my second channel, Blender Money, so you can check that out and other videos that I've uploaded there. So I'm just trying to keep these channels separate, one for just step-by-step tutorials and another one for time-lapse videos. So you can check out the time-lapse videos here on this Blender Money tutorial. I'll be leaving the links in the description, but this is what we're going to be making. So let's dive in and get started. So to create that dripping effect, let me go to solid mode. You can just begin by adding a plane, shift A plane, and in the modifiers there is a modifier called skin modifier. If you apply that to a mesh, it will give every edge in your mesh volume. So let's say we had, let me add a simple icosphere with very few subdivisions so that Blender doesn't crash on me, because this is a very heavy effect, very heavy modifier. So if you apply it to a dense mesh, Blender will likely freeze or crash. So if we add the skin modifier, you can see that it will add volume to every edge you have, but right now the volume is too big for the edge that is starting to intersect. So to reduce that, just select everything and then Ctrl A to reduce that volume. Let me just go to solid mode here. You can see now how each shape has volume. So that's the effect we're going to be using, and you can see this mesh here, every edge has a volume, but that's not what we want. We want only to have like one strip here. So I'll delete the back vertices here so that I have a shape like this. But this is a very rectangular kind of sharp edge form, which doesn't give us the effect we are going for here, for the paint effect we are going for here, which is more like a liquid smooth effect. So to make this smooth, we are going to add a subdivision surface modifier like this, and later we'll be applying a smooth shade to this, but I don't think it works when you have the skin modifier. It doesn't apply. When I tried it, I had to convert the skin modifier, apply the skin modifier for that to work. So if you try that and it doesn't, I just know that it didn't work for me as well. So now that we have this, we can also give it the material we were using for the paint. So let me just put a simple material here, red, give it some reflective, something like that. So if you wanted to create a drip from this, say the paint is dripping here, you can just extrude any of the vertex here and then extrude it down directly like that. Maybe extrude another point here, and you can see this is what we have. The problem is that you can see our paint drips here in a tier form. So to achieve that effect, you would have to scale these points, either make them larger or make the other points smaller. So the way you do that, instead of using S for scaling, that will not do anything, because we are scaling the skin modifier instead. Because we're scaling the vertex instead of the skin modifier. So to scale the skin modifier, you just use Ctrl A, select a vertex and then Ctrl A, and you can see we can scale it up or scale it down. So let me just show you how this. Ctrl A, you can see this size we're getting. So right now the entire shape is a bit too big, so I'm just going to select everything. As you can see, I've selected everything, then Ctrl A to scale down everything at first. And now I can come in here and Ctrl A to scale these into larger teardrops. But again, you can see that the kind of teardrop shape we are getting here is not the same as this. This is more linear, but this is more kind of Bezier or curvy. So to get that curve, we can add subdivide some of these points. So let's add a few subdivisions like there, and then you can Control A to scale this up to get that shape. But it's being restricted or kind of blocked. Scale is being blocked around here. It's giving us the shape we want, but it's too sharp or too abrupt. So to fix that, we can turn on proportional editing, and then let's make sure that it's connected only, so that we don't scale up this side as well. If we didn't have that, if we didn't have connected only and tried scaling this, when we enlarge our offset, proportional offset, you can see it's also scaling up this part because it's being enclosed in our offset. So you want to turn on connected so that we only scale up what is connected to this teardrop, and you can see the shape we get. You can also try to play around with the different offsets we have here, see what works best. And remember, we're going to be adding a subdivision surface to this, and you can also try increasing the viewpoint subdivisions here, so that is smooth. And yeah, this is what we have. So you can also add more drips here. So just subdivide this, extrude in the Z direction, and then Control A. Let me first add a few more subdivisions here, then Control A, so that I have a drip like that. And I can also extrude these. So you can see how you can achieve the effects you want quite easily. And after you get the shapes you want, you can apply the skin modifier and then turn on smooth shading to get that. So you can see for this here, you can see it goes around the paint bucket, and the way I achieved that is that after modeling the paint bucket, I just selected an edge loop like here. You'll see these tricks that I used in other time lapse if you want to watch that. So I duplicated that edge loop and then P to make it, to separate it from the mesh, then just move it somewhere like here. And I selected different edges at random. So there's also a random select tool here, so I think it's unselect random, and then hit E to extrude directly down, and then I selected at random again, pushed some of these up like that. You're seeing we have a face here, so if we try to add a skin modifier right now, see, let's reduce on, let's push this up, select everything, Control A to reduce the volume down. You can see that because we have these edges at the bottom, they're connecting our droplets, or our drips. So let's select those and delete those edges to have something like that, and also select these on the other side, and we can start selecting at random. You can also turn on have proportional editing turned on, and Control A. Again, if you want this to be more like a teardrop, you would have to come in and add a few points there. I'm just reducing the size, the overall size a bit, and then increasing the tips like that. Let me reduce the viewpoint display here, something like that. And to make these here, I did the same, but of course this would not go all around like that. You would have to come in and start deleting some of these points here, and you're going to see a problem you're going to run into after I delete the connected points we have here. Let me turn on skin modifier here so that you can see what I mean. Now, after I disconnect the other meshes, the other parts from the main mesh, you can see they lose that effect, the skin modifier effect. This is because when you add a skin modifier, you have to mark a route for where the skin modifier starts from, or the skin starts from. I don't really know how it works, but I just know that you have to mark a route for each of the separate segments of your mesh. So this has a route, but these two don't have a route. So you just select any of the vertices and then mark route and give it the volume, its own volume, like that, in case it's missing it. So any part of the mesh that is disconnected, you need to give it its own route after disconnected, and then you can do whatever you want. So I'll recommend you go watch the time lapse to see all the tricks that I used to achieve this paint effect, including the texturing. You can see we even have a little bit more details in this in different areas. So thank you for watching. Make sure to go check out the other channel and leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.